let's say there are enough questions that you could solve. Let's say there are enough questions that you could solve, which means that is your ability. That's your potential score that you could have improved. It's a different issue that in the exam you didn't find them. For the next 2 minutes, how to analyze mocks broadly, I will tell you. First, after finishing the 2-hour paper, go back and check what are the rights and wrongs. Now, without any time limit, without giving yourself any time limit, try to first solve all the questions which you have got wrong. Why am I saying this first? Because in the exam, in the mock, when you were attempting, you attempted it for some reason and you got it wrong. So, and there could be pressure of time. It could be a silly mistake. It could be something or the other. Pick up that question and solve it first. If you are able to solve it, that shows that it is not a knowledge problem, but it was a heat of the moment problem, the pressure of the time problem, or whatever that is that you could not solve it. That is the first part. So all the questions that you made mistakes in, it could be RC, it could be verbal ability, it could be DILR, it could be quant. First part of your analysis is to solve the questions which you got them wrong. That's point 1. Second, all the questions that you did not attempt. Now, again, without giving any time limit to it, start with reading comprehension, for example. If that, let's say you have missed out a full passage, give it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 7 minutes, 30 minutes, doesn't matter, but read the question, read the passage and solve the questions one by one. Similarly for DILR, let's say there are 3 sets that you do not solve. Give it all the time that you can to solve this. Very, very important that you solve this without seeing the solution first round. Similarly, for all the questions that you did not attempt in the mock, go ahead and try to solve them. Now you might come back and say, hey sir, I did not attempt in the exam because this was in an area called permutations and combinations and I don't know permutation and combinations. So what do I do then? Or it could be an area in set theory in DI and I don't know, or LR, I don't know how to solve them. Possible. No problems, no problems. You try to solve them. That's the first thing to understand. You try to solve them. But after solving them, let's say you couldn't solve them, then go back and look. So the first point I told you about all the mistakes. Second point of all the questions which you have not solved, you are trying to solve them. From these, let's say there are enough questions that you could solve. Let's say there are enough questions that you could solve, which means that is your ability. That's your potential score that you could have improved. It's a different issue that in the exam you didn't find them. No problems. So that's another part of it. And the third part of the analysis, this is the second part. The third part of the analysis, all the questions after making mistakes, you still couldn't solve, or after attempting the ones which you did not solve and you could still not solve, go back and see the solutions. This is the 3 parts of it. And the fourth part of it, see the solutions without fail. Give it half an hour. You may not understand it. You may understand it. Ideally, if you have more time after seeing the solution, close the solution, especially if it is DILR and quantitative ability. Close the solution and try to solve the question again. You know, friends, you might be thinking it's such a difficult thing to do. I'm saying give yourself that one day when you're writing a mock, only to the mock and the analysis and nothing else. This is sacrosanct. If you really want a 99.99 percentile also, like somebody's asking, I want you to do this. That's it. Or a 99 or a 90, depending on where you are. The fourth point, after this, after all these things are over, then look at which are the topics in each of the areas. For example, in verbal ability, There could be para jumbles you are able to solve or not solve. Para summary you are able to solve or not solve. Or odd para summary, odd para jumbles or odd sentences that you are able to solve or not solve. Similarly, in reading comprehension, there will be areas where if it is a generalized passage, or say on sports or business or science, you are able to solve. But if it's on philosophy, or psychology, or sociology, humanity, something else in humanities, you're not able to solve. No problems. You make note of this. Similarly, in DILR, you're able to solve a data set which has, bar charts, but you're not able to solve a data set which has, too much of logical reasoning in that. No problems. Understandable. Make a note of it. Third, similarly in quant, in areas in arithmetic, algebra, geometry, numbers, or whatever else, pick out where is your strength areas, where you are able to solve and where you are not able to solve. This is the 5-part analysis. Recap. Analysis. How to analyze? This is the most important question that somebody has asked. How to analyze mocks? And if you can't analyze this mocks, I'm saying there will be no improvement. This is the kind of analysis. Of course, we'll tell you after analysis what you should do. First, all the mistakes that you've got, try to resolve them. If you can't solve it, that's okay. Second, all the questions that you did not attempt in the exam, solve them again. Try to solve them again. If you don't solve, no problems. Third, all the questions that you could not solve even the second time, the mistakes and the ones which you have not attempted, make sure that you see the solutions to this one by one, each one of them. And the fourth part, after solving, especially DILR, after seeing the solution, close the solution and try to resolve the question again. If you don't get it, no problems, don't worry, but at least try. The fifth point is, after this, make a note of all that you feel from the plan, what you are comfortable with, that is a strength, and what are you not comfortable with, what is your weakness. This is a 5-point game, the 5-point game that you need to do. Once you do this 5, from what you have done in the point 5, that is the step 5, I call them, that step 5 should be used to plan the next 3 days, next 5 days, next 6 days.